M0FXB, welcome back to my Mazzy walks. Mazzy, say hi. So it's quite cloudy and muggy here today, cold. It's not really that nice, but anyway, Mazzy loves it. She doesn't care. As long as there's a stick or a ball, she's happy. So, I had another question, and you believe it or not, it's actually quite a common question, because us ham radio operators take for granted that we know what a repeater is, or what CTCSS is, and what it does. But there are many new people out there, and we were one of those people once upon a time that didn't even know we didn't even know, and I remember I didn't know what a minus or a plus shift meant. I remember I bought a ham radio. I'd already booked in to take my foundation, and I bought a ICOM 2725, which is a dual band radio, and I just turned the channel. I knew to look between around 14500 and 145 and there was a busy repeater there called GB3WE on 145687.5, and I thought, great, that's good, I'll listen to that. So because I wasn't transmitting, I didn't have my license, but I was very happy to listen. I absolutely loved it. So I sat there listening, and it just made me want to get my license even more, because I wanted to join in. And the only experience I'd had was CB, and really that was when I was a lot younger, although I did still have a CB there and had the odd chat with the guys in Western-super-Mare, guys and girls. So anyway, let's just go to basics. So a repeater is, just think about the word repeat, is an antenna on a hill generally, but they can be on masts that are being, or antenna masts that are being shared by mobile phone companies. All kinds of people need to have an antenna up high, and it does need to be up high. This is the key thing. So an antenna on a hill that is connected to a radio that automatically retransmits. So let's just say here in Western, there's a big hill up the road from me called Bleedon Hill, and let's just say, I don't know what the height is, let's say it's 100 meters high. I don't know, it's 100 meters high, but I'm on 30 meters high, so it's 70 meters. So if I try and transmit my VHF UHF signal through that hill mountain, well, it's not going to happen, is it? It's just not going to happen. And by the way, many people say as well, what's the difference between VHF, UHF? It's a good question. You'll find that the UHF size wave tends to get in between the gaps of the buildings a lot better than a VHF. So I'd say VHF probably has a better range, but it's not as good as getting through the buildings, and that's why you tend to find that a lot of security guards and businesses tend to use 70 centimeter bands, or PMR type frequencies, and business PMR, and it just the way it is. Just look at the science. So you've got your radio, and then you put in your frequency, and let's say the repeater is on 145/600 that you're listening. Well, it can't receive and transmit on the same frequency, so it needs to be on a different frequency. So generally, if you're listening on 145/600, there'll be a 600 kilohertz shift, usually minus on 2 meters, plus 7.600 on 70 sems. But let's keep it simple, because I know that even that can be confusing. So you go into your radio settings and look up and down and look for shift, shift direction, and select minus, and then type into your radio, or use your turn the knob, type it on your microphone, which VHF UHF radios tend to have a microphone, and type in 145/600, go into settings, and then select minus shift. You're not quite there yet, you still need to turn on tone, and there are two different types of tone. There's tone squelch and there's tone. So with a tone, you have to still select what number that tone will be. So very common with 2 meters is it will be a 94.8 tone that you, sorry, there's an aeroplane there. So you put that into, when you key the mic and it shifts minus 600, so you're actually transmitting on 145,000, and it will send the tone, which you've set at 94.8. That will open up, that will say to the repeater, right, open up. So why do you have tones on different frequencies? Mazzy just ran off then. Stop running off, Mazzy. Stay near me. So you've keyed the mic, you're transmitting, you've opened up the repeater, and the repeater starts beeping. When it beeps, it's not a random beep. It will give out its identity, yeah? And it will also give out, many of them will give out the signal strength that you reached that repeater at as well. So that's very clever. So you could have set tone squelch, because you'll have that setting on most radios. What that does, it will add it on receive as well. So instead of just leaving that open, because you only need it on transmit to open the repeater, but if you want your radio to be nice and quiet, you don't want to hear that squelchy noise, you can turn that on receive as well, and then your radio will be silent except for when someone's speaking. But me personally, I like the squelchy sort of radio sounds. I like all the beeps. I mean, so many people hate Roger beeps. I've always liked them. It just feels, come on, they landed on the moon. They had Roger beeps. Why are us ham radio operators too good for it? The amount of people that, if you've got your Roger beep on by accident, because I never turn it on, of course, that literally dive in and can't wait to tell you off. It's like, go away. Like, it's a hobby. Beep, 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 big deal. Yeah, but anyway, just me moaning again. So that's pretty much how a repeater works. Now, sometimes, if you're lucky, there will be conditions, and I can't even say the word, tropospheric conditions. All to do, well, look at the science. It's all to do with the weather and how the water and the weather and the clouds and the humidity is affecting the radio wave, and it can carry it for literally for, normally you'd expect with a repeater, I don't know, 30, 40 miles at the most, yeah? But when you've got tropospheric conditions, it can travel for hundreds of miles. So I've had, you know, situations here where I could hear the 400 miles away from me, even if it's 100 miles away from me, Birmingham, or then right up to through France. And it happens quite often, especially in the winter. So hopefully that explains to you what a repeater is. And I found it fascinating when I learnt it all. And it's still, you know, when you first start putting in those settings in the radio, it still can be really confusing, yeah? But it's like anything, if you don't do it very often, you're not going to be very good at it. Nor was I, nor was any ham. Any ham that turns around and says to you that they're good at something when they don't even know how to do it. Human beings have to learn. Right, another dog that Mazzy was barking at. So anyway, I hope you find this interesting. I really did. I think that was one of the most fascinating things I ever did. And don't forget, you get this on simplex. What is simplex? When you're on the same frequency. So if you're on 145, 550 and someone else is, and the tropospheric conditions are kicking in, you'll still get things come through. And of course, you don't have to use a repeater. You'd be surprised. Turn your squelch right down. The kind of antenna I would use is a collinear, one of those white stick collinears. Put it in your loft. Yeah. You don't have to get on the roof. You know, obviously it's better outside, but the problem I find with external collinear antennas is after a few years you have to maintain them. And I'll tell you what, I'm not falling off a ladder. Because I want to have better radio contact, so I put all mine in the loft. But I know that some people don't have that privilege. But if you are going to put your antenna up, do it completely safely. If you're more than about 6 foot from the ground, take it from me, get a temporary scaffolding kit. They're not expensive. It is to hire it, but you can actually buy these like prefab type ones, or borrow it off a friend and get someone to hold the ladder, or at least. And just do it really safely, because you do not want to have an accident at any height, because you'd be surprised. Speak to the hospitals. A lot of the people that go into hospital with really serious injuries, life-changing injuries, just fall off a ladder. So take it easy. And thanks for watching my channel. please hit the like, subscribe, buy me a coffee for me and my wife, and try joining, because you know, my YouTube channel, you can actually join it, and it's only £1 a month. I know you think, oh, I'm not going to £1 a month, but you become part of the community. There's like, you know, so let's join the community, get the subscribers up nice and high. We're up to like 36,000. Let's get it to 100,000. Why not? Let's show the world that little old Andreas at home in his shack tinkering, helping people with their radios, can get to 100,000. Get bigger than the biggest YouTuber in the world. Let's show them. Thanks for watching my YouTube. Bye for now.